Okay, I'm going to run you really quickly through buying a domain name through supercheapdomainnames.com and then also setting up hosting through them if you should choose to do so. Supercheapdomainnames.com is our domain name and hosting reseller account. So full disclosure, we do own this site here. But we do offer, pretty cheap domain names, a little bit, a couple bucks less, I think, a year than, say, your GoDaddies and some of the other companies that are out there. We do prefer you use super cheap domain names if possible because our staff is very familiar with the back office here. So it makes things easier, a little bit more proficient on our end if you are using super cheap. Now, I'll explain to you the difference here with using super cheap hosting versus another company, say like a HostGator, but we'll get into that in a second. Okay, so it's pretty simple to do. You're going to land right here on the home page. We've already provided you with the domain names that we think you should buy based on search volume and keywords and certain criteria. So basically, you just go to supercheapdomainnames.com. As you can see the URL here. You're going to start your domain search here. So you'll just type in whatever domains that we offered you to buy. And actually, it might make things a little bit easier if you hover over this little drop down box here, because we did suggest you buy at least two. So if you're going to be buying multiple domain names, if you're part of our program, you will be. It's probably easiest if you just come to bulk registration. Oh, I don't know why that's dead. All right, let's go to bulk registration. And we are going to search for both of the domain names that we talked about. So we'll say real estate for sale in Dallas, Texas. Sell your house fast, Dallas, Texas. I'm just making these up. I hope they're available so we can kind of speed through the process here. It's going to ask for the code. Okay, so they are available. It says two domains pending registration. This means once it sends you to this page, that means you're going to start registering them right away. If it says, these domains are not available, something along those lines, either we made a mistake or you made a mistake somewhere in there, but it should bring you immediately to this registration page. So it's basic, simple registration. You'll type in your name, last name, email address, all that important information. You can add email address if you like for $2.09 a month. Put your company name, address, all that stuff. Now I'll explain to you the email addresses here in a second. If you plan on using hosting through super cheap domain names, you can pay for email addresses for $2.09 a month. If you do hosting through HostGator, you actually get free email addresses. So you're going to have to weigh out what you'd rather do. We accept, hosting accounts from either one of the companies. Super cheap. It could make it easier on you if you just want to have everything in one central location. Your hosting, your domain names, your email addresses, all that stuff in one central hub. You may pay a few extra dollars by doing it this way because you're going to have to pay each month for your email addresses, but it may make it easier on you in the long run. Now, in the next video, I'm going to show you about hosting with HostGator. You pay a few dollars more, I think, per month, maybe. I think it's instead of $6.50 a month as hosting is with super cheap domain names, it's around $8 a month with HostGator, and then you get unlimited email addresses, which is pretty cool. All right, so you just fill out all this information. After you get in all your information here and hit next, it's actually going to take you down to step 2 here. And then this is how long you're going to register your domain. We would suggest doing it for multiple years. It's really up to you how long you want to do that. But we always register a minimum of 3 years, all of our domains. A few reasons behind it. One, you don't have to worry about it expiring at the end of a year and potentially losing your domain name if you change credit cards, your card expires, something like that, and you don't get it renewed in time. But again, it's really up to you. If you feel like you can stay on top of it, 1 year is fine. We suggest doing at least 3. It also looks good to Google, believe it or not. If they see you just coming in, setting up a domain name for 1 year at a time, it's a brand new site. All of a sudden, you start doing all this search engine optimization, like the stuff that we're teaching you through our videos. If you do that kind of thing, Google actually looks at how long you registered your domain name. So if you only registered for a year and you plan on doing all this SEO, they see all this work being done to the site for only a domain that's registered for 1 year. It's brand new. They think it's kind of fishy because you could just be coming in trying to game the system really quickly for a year and then bouncing out. So it actually does look a little bit better to Google if you register it for a couple of years. So I would do 2 year minimum, and you can, as you can see here, register up to 10 years and just be completely set. You don't have to worry about certified. That's just an upsell that we offer, but you don't have to really worry about it. Here's some other upsell options. So after you hit next here, it will bring you to the number 3 step. Here are let me make sure I didn't. Oh, yeah, there's nothing else here. Hosting these domains elsewhere, you don't have to worry about that at all. All right, we come down to number 3. You can register privately. Again, it's up to you. If you want people to be able to find out who owns the site, then don't worry about it. If you rather remain anonymous, don't want your competitors knowing who you are and who runs the site, you can register for private registration, and then they have like a little bit of extra value here where you can protect it against expiring different things. So again, you'll have to weigh out your options, see if you feel like upgrading to that service. And then finally, you're going to activate your domain. Now, here's the thing. You can have email addresses, up to 5 email addresses for an extra $2 a month, and 10 email addresses for up to $3.13 a month. So if you're going to be hosting with Supercheap, which is down here, so you're looking at $6.29 a month with Supercheap domain names to host your website. If you decide to do that, just go ahead and click here, and that'll add it to your order. And then you're also going to probably want some email addresses in your domain name. So, info at realestateforsaleindallastexas.com, or support at realestateforsaleindallastexas, or your name at your domain name. So again, you'll just have to weigh out the options. I would suggest watching the next video with HostGator, checking out that plan as well to see what suits your needs best. So all in all, if you want about 10 email addresses, hosting, and your domain names, your hosting with your email addresses will run you around $9 a month, $9.50 a month, somewhere around there. And then you're in there and you're all set. And then after you complete your order, you're just going to move through the checkout process. So you've obviously put in your information here. You're going to move through the checkout process. You're going to put in your credit card information, process the order. Then you actually have created an account with Supercheap domain names, and you're going to be issued what's called a login up here. They're going to give you a customer number, usually starts with the number 4, and then you're going to create a password. We're going to need all that information from you so we can come in here and connect up WordPress and get going designing your websites. So that is buying a domain name and hosting through supercheapdomainnames.com.